Hello, everyone.
Hello, Erin.
Hi, Bobbi. Hello, everyone. Welcome so much to today's Oracle Chats. I'm Erin Lee of heavenlymessenger.com. And with me, as always, is my beautiful friend, Miss Bobbi Rowntree, born medium. Hello, and thank you so much for joining us. As always, we love to hear your questions and comments in the comment section. So please let us know. What are you thinking about? What's been on your mind lately? So, Miss Bobbi, we talked about a couple of things before we hopped on today. Where did you want to start?
Oh, my brain says ego right away.
Ego right away.
That's why.
So, one of the themes that's been coming up for me personally, and that I've also been seeing with clients in the last week and a half or so, is ego. Ego has been coming to the forefront. Have you been noticing the same at all, Bobbi?
Yes. Very, very much. And certain things that have happened in my life in the last week or so have brought me to the place of ego.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so when I think ego, I think insecurity.
Yep.
Do you think the same?
I do. I do.
And it's like, I know better than,
Mm-hmm.
therefore I'm going to decide it's this way.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. Ego has been coming up for me in a different way, and for the people I've been working with in a slightly different way too. Ego has been coming up with doubts or insecurities. And yeah. And okay, so we were talking about the same things. We were just coming at it from different places.
Yes. Doubts and insecurities. And therefore, what I see in front of me is the thing that I'm not quite sure about. So I'm going to decide that something else is better for me.
Exactly. And ego really trying to railroad you and to detract from you and to steer you off course.
Yes. And actually, for me, it's been in the dumps.
Yeah.
Well, I had, because the weather's changed.
Yep.
So I've had a flippy floppy in my lumps.
Oh.
So I thought I was.
The weather has an impact on your lumps?
Oh, God, does it ever?
Oh.
Yeah. I was visiting my daughter, and I ended up spending an entire day on her couch because the lumps made me vomit and then gave me a whole day of that. So it'll do that. And then the ego part of it is, but I thought I had a handle on this, and now I actually don't. And I just feel like I'm going to die. Like I do. I think I'm going to die.
Yeah.
Well, actually, what I actually think is going to happen, I go to a place of crippled.
Mm-hmm.
That's what happened to my grandmother.
Right.
So, yeah, not being able to use my body physically is a big thing for me. So,
absolutely.
Yeah. Okay.
Absolutely.
So I got to make room for Marie.
It's always great when we have special guests. And today it's Marie.
She's annoyed with me because I moved over. She's like, I was comfortable. Okay. Do you want to say hello?
Yes, I think we should say hello.
Okay,
Did you want to do the hello saying? I usually take over with that.
Sure. There's very few.
Okay. All right. You go for it.
Man, you drive fast, Julia. She was just here. Hello, Maya. Hello, Lisa. Hello,
Hi.
Julia. You drive too fast. Hello, JC. Hello,
hi, JC. Hi, Sarah.
Awesome. All lovely people.
All lovely people. Thank you for joining us. And Amaya has asked a question about messages. We don't do readings specifically on our show, but if you have a general question about something that we could answer for you, please ask, because we would love to tap in and see what's coming up.
Yeah, and I have found people have messaged me after our shows and said, "Hey, you actually gave me a message."
Awesome.
I didn't even know that I was supposed to, because so if you're on right now, you actually might receive a message when we babble on and on and on, because, well, that's what the dead do. Because that is what the dead
and our angels do.
But they're a little bit, more, is it all right if I tell you this? Where their dead are like, so.
Awesome. And hello to Leslie and Dion. It's great to see both of you. Thanks for joining us.
Yes. And Amaya has given us a question.
Okay.
And I think it may have to do with her career path and life and stuff like that.
Okay. So let's talk about career path and life.
Yeah, I actually, okay, so, no, I'm reading her. Yes, but Amaya, look up. There. That's what I will tell you. Yes.
Beautiful.
Happy Sunday.
Beautiful.
Hello,
Hi,
Leslie.
Linda.
Hello, Dion. This is the first time I've ever seen Dion's name. Welcome, Dion.
Right?
Oh boy, I already talked to you, Amaya. Hello, Linda. I almost called Linda Lisa. Why would I do that? That was very strange. Okie dokie. So back to, yeah, okay, ego, feeling sorry for yourself. Same thing, kind of.
Can
Because
be.
in the, that's the same thing, isn't it? So if I start to feel sorry for myself and say, why did they put me through pain? Why did they do this to me? Why is my life so difficult? Then actually what I'm doing is not looking at why. I'm just complaining about why.
And living in the experience of the pain rather than pulling yourself up and out to look at why is this happening? What do I need to focus on? How do I need to shift?
So was it because it was in Victoria, and Victoria is incredibly spiritually charged? Was it because I'm me?
Was it because you'd given yourself the time and the space to rest? Because I know that you're like me and you can be really go, 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 particularly when it comes to your work. And if I remember correctly, you were coming off of like a week or a week and a half worth of readings at the time. And then you slowed down, you took some time off and you like stopped. And then your body said, holy smokes, we got stuff. So sometimes it's because we don't give ourselves enough time. And when we do give ourselves time and space to rest, boom, it hits us hard.
And you know what's funny? Is that I kept seeing stuff that had to do with constant care rather than rehabilitation. Preemptive care.
Yeah. Proactive self-care.
I actually will push.
Yeah.
Until like, yeah, you're right. Kansas. Hello, Michelle from Kansas.
Hi, it's wonderful to see you. Thanks for joining us.
We are good today. Okay, that makes some sense. That makes so much sense. And actually, where the heck were you on Monday when my back went out and I just kept on doing stuff? This is what I do.
Yeah.
So I didn't even listen.
Yeah. Slow it down.
Slow down.
It down.
That's actually for everybody.
Yeah.
Because this is the slowing down time.
Exactly. And for me, ego has been appearing in different ways. I've been go, being really energized with projects and things that are happening. And I'm getting the messages. I'm like, yep, this is right. We're on the right track. And then boom, ego jumps in with all sorts of fears and doubts and insecurities. And it's like, hold on. I've been listening. I've been paying attention. I've been doing the things. I've been following it. I've been feeling good. Where is this coming from? And ego is popping in because I'm getting close or I'm getting closer. And I saw this with a couple of clients this week too, where they're starting things of projects of a spiritual nature or starting like work and career of a spiritual nature. And ego's coming up really strongly and they're questioning, is this the right track? Is this the right path? And it's like, yeah, it is, because ego gets really loud the closer that you get, because it's like you're almost there. Well, then I have to put out all the stops to stop you, to keep you small, to keep you where you are, and to squash you down.
Okie dokie. I do that all the time. Wow. I actually, it's weird. And I know it now. When I first started my YouTube channel, I started to feel like people were watching me. Sorry, yeah. I can say it out loud. It's like, duh?
Yeah, right. They're watching me. Yeah, that's what they're supposed to do.
And I shut down about it. I freaked out.
Yeah.
Oh my God, I manifested so many awful things and I was totally freaked out about stuff. And then I realized, oh my God, it was the exposure of the YouTube channel. Because I felt exposed.
Yeah.
Well, when it happened again recently, and I had to tell myself, okay, you remember this. This was when you felt exposed. And it was actually when the last thing that I was doing actually brought a lot of different eyes to me.
Yeah.
The promotional stuff. So that, I think that's what it was. But I put on the brakes.
Yeah.
Things. I think we all do that.
I think so.
Some people actually will sabotage. Like I know someone, every time his life would go well, he
Yep.
would try crack again.
Yeah.
That's when he would do it. That's when he would relapse. As soon as he got
Yep.
a good job, as soon as a good person came into his life, he would always. Oh,
Yep.
we have a scammer. Ah, there we
Oh,
go.
thank you. Did you get it?
I'm gonna block you and
Okay.
delete your comment. Okay, thank you, Leslie. Smart
That's
woman.
awesome. Thanks for keeping us on.
Yeah, she went,
Oh, there you go. Yep. Did you block them?
yeah, I did.
Okay. All right. Awesome.
Okay, I want to delete their comment though.
Oh, I did that.
Okay, okay, all
Like
right.
magic.
Okay, like magic.
Like
Okay,
magic.
all right. Now, Sarah has a question,
Yeah.
but I see it as a you question.
Okay. So Sarah's saying, I feel like I'm seeing seraphim angels while I meditate, but I feel like I'm not getting the messages. I just see lots of triangles, pyramids, and single eyes. You know, that's
Triangle.
really cool. The seraphim are another like level of angels. There are like within the angelic realm, there are different angels who do different things. And I have to admit, the seraphim are not angels that I work with a lot. The way that I see and experience them is that they're kind of a lot of the doer angels. Like they're out there, they're doing things. They often have different specific purposes that they work with. So like romance and other areas in our life. So I find that we can call them in that way. Does that make sense for you?
I guess honestly, when I hear seraphim, all I hear is seraphim from uh the Sister Act.
Oh, that's awesome.
Because that was what she was trying to get to at the high point. And I hear it in my head over and over again. I weird that way. But yeah, that's immediately what I thought. And I saw seraphim as a haze that surrounds the angelic realm.
Interesting. Yeah, they are actually their own type of angels, and they do work with us. But I find that they don't work in the same way. Like for me, I really connect with the archangel, so that's my go-to. And sometimes I'll call in angels for like specific purposes, like romance angels, or parking angels, or helper angels, and moving angels. And I do find that they are part of the seraphim realm, but they don't come to me as their own like specific identities. They're just kind of little worker angels.
Like cherubs?
Yeah, I believe cherubs are actually a separate entity, but they would be closer to seraphim than say like archangel or guardian angel.
Now, when she talks about seeing lots of triangles and pyramids,
Mm-hmm.
I actually I started seeing those about 2020, 2019.
Yep.
And then I looked up the triangle because why?
Mm-hmm.
And actually, I was just talking about the triangle with somebody.
Yep.
And because it's the strongest shape in the universe.
Interesting.
Apparently, it's the strongest shape in the universe. And when I see a triangle, I think of Maiden, Mother, Crone, Body, Mind, Spirit, Father, Son, Spirit. I see all the Trinities.
Yep.
Which I'm obsessed with Trinities, which is why I'm Trinity Yoga.
Yeah, absolutely.
So,
and for me, when I go into triangles, I go into like pyramids, and I go into like hermetic teachings and old teachings, and go into like that ancient
what
world.
it is. Because Sarah's seen it with seraphim.
Mm-hmm.
So it probably is what you say. Because I didn't know that. What did you call it?
Hermetic teachings. And I have to admit, this is something that I haven't looked at in a very long time. It just randomly came up for me a couple of weeks ago. I'm like, oh yeah, that's something that I looked into years ago. I should look into that again. And that's for me when we talk about triangles and pyramids, and that's what I'm going into. And so I would say, Sarah, that probably some of the underlying messages that are coming up for you have to do with those underlying spiritual lessons. And I would start exploring some of those. And as you start investigating those, I'm seeing bits and pieces just kind of popping up for you. And it's almost like partially remembering a dream. And then you go about your day and something happens and the rest of the dream comes back and you know exactly what it was that you dreamt and there's clarity. That's kind of what I'm seeing coming up for you as you start like exploring and experimenting with this.
Yeah. And knowing Sarah as I do, I actually can pop a caveat on that.
Yeah.
And I actually think she needs to draw it.
I was going to just say that there's something that is in painting. Yeah. So that as you're creating it, then the rest comes. That totally makes sense.
Sarah is a very talented artist.
Oh, amazing.
When listening to you, it made me think, okay, and it's angelic inspiration. And she's doing so. Yeah. Yeah.
Beautiful.
Okay. Yeah. Well done.
And I'm
super work together because
right. Well, and I have to say I'm really excited because I wish that I could paint what I am seeing, or I wish that I could draw what it is that I'm seeing, because it is beautiful. So I can only imagine what you're seeing and experiencing and the level of talent that you would have to be able to bring something like this to life. Mm-hmm. I hope that once you finish it, that you'll share it with us.
Yeah. Actually, it'd be really cool to share a lot of Sarah's work.
Yeah.
Because of her journey and why she does her work and how and all those sorts of things. Rhonda, we are so excited that you finally caught us live too.
Yay! Awesome.
Sorry. Hello again, Leslie.
Yeah. And I see we're kind of jumping around a bit. I see that Leslie said, sorry?
Oh, did I miss someone?
No, you go ahead.
Holly or Holy?
Probably Holly.
Okay.
Yeah. I'm not exactly sure where we are anymore, so I will just let you carry forward.
Okie dokie. Okay. Leslie had pain all day. Pain all day today because she had a tantrum yesterday.
Mm-hmm.
So you brought in that negative energy. And do you actually think too, because actually the way they're showing it to me, Leslie, is if I get too cold, when my body does this, I clench, and then I'm kind of got a whole day of uncomfortableness the next day.
Like the decompressing.
And Turd did the same thing. Turd you a little bit. And yeah, you might have let that too much negative lactic acid has been.
Mm-hmm.
That's what say it again.
Lactic
acid actually is. Maybe it's negative energy. Okie dokie. Sorry.
That'd be really interesting. Like literally a pain in the neck because of the negative energy. Interesting. I wish we had a way of finding out about that.
Me too, actually, because then I probably wouldn't be in pain anymore. That would be great.
Awesome. Well, hello to Carrie and Michelle and other Carrie. I just want to see if there's anybody else that we have missed in saying hello to. No, I think we're all caught up.
I think we're caught up with the folks.
Yes. So Michelle, we aren't doing any specific readings today, but if you want to ask us a question, then we'd be like a general question. Sometimes messages come through with that. So please ask us a question.
Anniversaries can be very difficult. They serve as reminders, and it's a reminder of a negative thing.
Yeah.
And I totally understand. I used to do a pilgrimage every year for the anniversary of my father's passing. I actually traveled to Kamloops every year. Like he was there. He probably was traveling with me going, why are you doing this? Sorry. Like, what? You could have done this in the 90s. So honestly, I actually see that commemoration you might want to do that on the birthday. Thank you for the time that he came here, not the time that he left here. I think you might be struggling a bit because you might be running memories and emotions. Well, because he's with you.
And the interesting thing is, I think that times of year we can trap memories, and that as we come up and closer to it, we start to feel it and go through it. Because I know that I have things that I would just as soon not remember, not go back to, but I have started having to plan for them and plan around them, make sure I don't put too much on that time, because I can feel it starting to come weeks in advance. And it's like, okay, well, we're going through this process again.
So is that a cord cutting need then, maybe?
You know, I kind of, now that you mention it, I kind of wonder. For the last several years, I've just kind of dealt with it. I've understood it was going to come, and I've done as much work and processing around it as I could. But yeah, cord cutting would certainly make a lot of sense.
I really find cord cutting is like, I'm shocked at how helpful it is, actually.
Yeah.
Because sometimes you actually try to revisit an emotion, you know, kind of like to stick your tongue in the toothache.
Yeah.
And going, wait a minute, there's nothing there. I can't. Because we like those emotions. We do. We like the up and down. We love that. Okie dokie.
I don't know. Speak for yourself. I just want calm. but that could also be because one of the ways that I receive a lot of messages is through emotion. And so it's just like, I just want a bit of peace and calm.
Yeah, see, and mine's all chatter, 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 chatter. Ow, why'd you do that to me? Yeah, that's what it is.
So I just wanted, oh, go ahead. Go ahead.
Linda's, yeah.
I was just going to say, because we've talked about cord cutting, but there might be people who have joined us who aren't aware of what it is.
You might want to mention what the heck a cord cutting is. Yeah. And so, actually, it came up a little bit with what you said and also with Michelle.
Yeah.
And the cord cutting for her might actually be to help release her ex-fiance so that he actually is able to do what he needs to do on the other side, grow.
That's beautiful.
Yeah. I'm sorry, Michelle.
Yeah. So when we talk about cord cutting, cords are energetic etheric bonds that we form to people, places, things, situations, and events. There is nothing that is positive or loving about these cords, but they exist within our positive and loving relationships. They are the negative aspects of those things. And yeah. I do a lot with cord cutting, so it's kind of ridiculous that I haven't approached this particular incident with this. So I'm glad we talked about it.
I'm surprised we haven't talked about it because it's really, really important.
It is. It's really important. And so basically one of the energetic effects that having one of these cords can have, it can be like getting a phone call, like seeing it come up on your caller ID, that somebody that you absolutely love, you love talking to, is coming up, but you know that as soon as you get on the phone, it's going to be all about their problems and all of the challenge and all the difficulty, and your energy that's way up here, suddenly you know it's going to go like way down here because they're like pulling from you. That's the type of energetic impact that a cord can have on your energy. It's either pulling positive energy from you or it's dumping a whole pile of crap on you.
And I see it as attachment.
Yeah, it can be a form of it. It is a form of attachment.
Okay, so it's the same poop, different pile.
Yeah, like that's the energetic effect that it can have. Or like, I mean, part of the way that you're talking about it is not being able to move forward, right? Is not being able to move on or to like continue to grow and evolve.
To let go. I've cord cutted exes.
Yeah,
and they've cord cutted feelings associated with somebody. That one speaks to what, but I find, and I've actually had to cord cut some people like 3 or 4 times.
Yeah, because things can reattach. Yeah. But there are cords that exist in our positive and loving relationships as well. Like that, they are the challenges and the negativity, because there is no relationship, regardless of how perfect 2 people could possibly be, there is no relationship that doesn't have challenge.
Oh, absolutely. Because otherwise,
what's the point? So,
go ahead. I see the cords as umbilical cords. Oh, okay.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I see them, they represent themselves to me in a lot of different ways, and they attach in a lot of different places on the body. Sometimes I see it as like an extension cord that literally plugs in to the person that I'm working with. Other times, how else do I see them? Like they're big and they're throb and they're kind of gross. And they have things that float around outside of them too. Yeah, there are a whole pile of
different sorts of things. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So okay. Yeah.
Okay.
So I lay down. I surround myself with my spirit guides.
Yeah.
And then I have one of them hand me a big butcher knife.
Yep.
And then I take the big butcher knife and I follow the cord. I see the thing at the end of the cord, and I go, flip, and I hear ting. And I watch the thing fly away. That's what I do. It works. Sometimes.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's okay. I'm detaching that part of my relationship with you. Now I've got to detach this part of my relationship with you. Yeah. Because every person you actually bring into your life, you bring in for a myriad of reasons, not just one.
Exactly. And it is not, it is common, rather. It's common to have lots of different cords to one person or one situation or one event, particularly if it's something that comes up for you on a regular and consistent basis. When I do cord cutting, I work with the angels. So I like to call in Archangels Michael and Raphael and anybody else who is around and helping. And I like to cut the cords or sever the cords, and kind of like an umbilical cord, like I see it falling off and just dissolving into like dust and blowing away. And I call in Archangel Raphael and I ask him to heal wherever the cord was attached to me and wherever the cord was attached to the other person.
Yeah, you have to heal the other person.
You have to offer healing, because one, that helps to heal you. It helps to raise your energy and vibration. It helps to hopefully help the source itself, and it prevents it from being reattached.
Yeah, but everything you put out, you have to expect is going to come back to you.
Yeah.
So put out some good stuff.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Absolutely.
Okay. Well, good. Okay. Thank you. Okay, now Linda.
Yes, now Linda, you go for it.
Okay. Do you ladies ever run workshops in person to help newbies develop their intuitive skills, including meditative skills, gain an understanding of how to read or tune into your own? Oh, yes, we want to do that.
Yeah.
Most definitely we want to do that.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, it's just finding a space that's big enough for restrictions or even outdoor. I always think of the yoga yard.
I know. Yeah. I used to teach. Well, I do teach. Yeah. COVID's really shut down a lot of stuff, but I teach Reiki, intuitive development, card reading.
You do meditation every week.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so incredibly important. All right, Linda, light fire under our bum. We'll get it together. It would be wonderful. And because there are so many Orachellians I've never met.
Yeah. And we're, for many of us, we're relatively close locally too, which is kind of cool.
Well, and the Orachellians that are far away, we can just broadcast it. So they're part of it as well. Yeah. So we're all part of it.
Exactly.
It's a wonderful idea, Linda.
Exactly. And I would just say too, with that, Linda, several months ago, I was in the bath and I saw all of that happening. I saw the location and how we were going to do it. And we just haven't pulled it together yet. So.
No, actually, well, there's this place on Gabriel Island. It's $6 million though right now.
Yep.
And my husband keeps showing it to me. I'm like, yes, I know. It has so much. It is so perfect. We could have so many amazing universal connections conferences there.
That'd be awesome.
It'd be an absolutely wonderful meeting place. So let's all manifest the $6 million.
Beautiful. I love it.
Yeah. Or the place.
Yeah.
Anyway, the place. Okay, Carrie sees the pyramid. Yeah, you do. Thank you, Carrie.
Awesome.
5 years. He was gone 5 years ago on Thursday. Mm-hmm. That's the fiance. Yeah, I think. That makes sense. That. Not let it go. You could even say your bye-bye day. I love you, mwah, but it's not as sad for him. I tried to say that in a nicer. Yeah, it's better for them.
Yeah,
if you come to terms with things and let things go. And I actually felt that on Samhain. Okay. Mm-hmm. 80 degrees. Holy Trinity triangles. The stop points up, meaning elevated or moving up.
Mm-hmm. I see pyramids with the eye a lot, and I think the eyes I see would make cool eyes. Yeah, absolutely, that would make cool eyes. And all of the things that you've just kind of mentioned here kind of lead me into this being bigger teachings that you are accessing.
And isn't the pyramid with the eye? Isn't that the Illuminati?
Pardon me?
Is it the pyramid with the eye? Isn't that the Illuminati?
I think that probably is their symbol or one of their symbols. But it would be interesting. I mean, when I think of symbols, I think of things like the swastika, and right, exactly. But the origin of the swastika was not hate. Exactly, it was harmony. So, I mean, when you start seeing symbols and you have an association with them, I think that it can still be helpful to look into what else the symbol might mean. And somebody may have co-opted it to mean something else.
Oh, excellent. Yes. It's like when I dressed as a witch for Halloween, I was wearing a pentagram. Yeah. And someone came to me and started talking to me about being a satanic.
Right.
And I was like, is this upside down to you? But I didn't say that. I just thought you're intoxicated, so I'm just going to smile. But yeah, it was the same sort of thing. And I thought, because she was telling me how you got to be careful, blah, 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 blah. And I was like, oh no, this is what it's been co-opted.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, yes, the 5-pointed star. It actually, I saw a ritual where that's what they were doing. They took your head here, 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 here. They created the star instead of the cross.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, wow. What?
Which, of course, totally makes sense. And, I wish that I knew more about like paganism and the Wicca to understand where that symbol came from.
Yes, and I'll find out.
Awesome. Excellent. Bobbi's reporting back next week. Oh, and Sarah has a really cool message here. She said, painting your feelings can help you achieve that. That's awesome. Thank you.
Okay. That's why you wrote help after that. Okay.
Yeah.
Good.
Yeah.
Help. Oh no. Someone get to Sarah's house. Okie dokie. Well, I actually, my first surgery, that's when I created all my little bubble people that are the chakras. If anyone knows, like I have magnets and stuff that I do, these little bubble people. But that's what I'm doing that. Every time I had a surgery, every time I do rehab, they actually tell me draw. And I draw, I draw things. I sometimes draw. I've been drawing a lot of this.
Yeah.
So
the balancing. Yeah. When you do this, I see the DNA helix.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Makes sense. And when the DNA helix to me is the other side, which is also the movement of the snakes throughout us, which is also the energies that run through us. It all makes so much sense. Like we can take the sciencey and put it in with the metaphysics and squish it all together with the smart folks. Cool. New people to say hello to. I'm not high, but I'm high right now. I just want to.
Okay, so you take the high road, I'll take the low road, and we'll meet somewhere in the middle. So I'm gonna say hello and welcome to Verna, Joanne. We've got some comments here from Michelle. Lorianne, hello, it's great to see you, and to Ruth. Denise, it's wonderful. Thank you for joining us today. Okay, let's pop back in.
Okie dokie.
Where are we going next?
Okay. Well, okay. So Linda said thank you for the cord cutting, which is cool because she probably wrote that before we even that was well done, Linda. Yeah. We second, Linda. And Michelle wants to know she talked about the things that she does for her ex on the other side and wants to know whether she could be doing, and that's an excellent question for people. I always wonder what can I do for the people on the other side to make sure, and it's individual.
Yeah.
Very, very much. The first thing actually I hear in my head is acknowledgement of when they speak to you. And actually looking for it. And for some reason right now, I am seeing feathers. So it actually might be Michelle finds feathers.
Oh, as communication, letting her know that he's around. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, because what I'm seeing is I actually I was in Victoria, and I don't know about downtown Victoria. There's feathers everywhere, or at least it was my experience that day. It was like feathers everywhere. It was so weird, like the largest cat in the world. The kids killed so many birds. That's usually why I find feathers. Anyway, so I was walking across the street, and in my head they said, "Just pick this one up," because it was a perfect white feather. I was walking across the street and I bent down, I picked it up, and I didn't want my daughter to see because she would have made fun of me. But so I saw the white feather, but I actually saw a brown feather after that. So Michelle might actually find brown feathers, and that might be him saying, "Hello, I love you. I'm good." I got this. Anyway,
was that somebody visiting, or was that Marie?
That was me smacking my hand.
Oh, that was you. Okay. I was like, what perfect timing.
And she's right here.
Beautiful. There's one thing that is completely unrelated to your story that is really popping out for me. And that is the fact that you made sure that your daughter didn't see it because she would make fun of you. And I think that's a really important point to kind of bring forward. I mean, you have been in professional practice for what, like the better part of 20 years now?
Her entire life.
Right? And your children literally grew up with you being a medium, with all of the woo-woo and all of the stuff going on. And there are still things that your kids tease you about. And
Totally tease me.
right? So I think one of the things that's important to kind of recognize is that even though we do what we do, there are still things that we don't share with the people who are closest to us, because they just don't get it. And so one of the conversations that I had this week was with somebody who was trying to navigate becoming this new healed person while living in old family patterns. And it is a difficult one to sit there and try to convince somebody of something that isn't part of their experience, that isn't part of their like knowledge and awareness. All you're going to do is create challenge and difficulty and frustration for yourself. One of the best things that you can do is like live your life for you and to do your own healing work. And eventually in time, they'll either get it or they won't, but at least you've done what you needed to do.
Yes. And actually, most likely you are going to feel like that in your family, because I get shown all the time, they pop rainbow sheep into family.
Yeah.
So you can feel so different from the rest of your family. Like, so many things. And actually part of that is you're supposed to share it with them. You're actually going to bring up the whole DNA line with what you're doing.
Yeah.
And sometimes, with my family, they're on a need to know basis. Me and ask for spiritual advice. My God, do I ever excitedly give it to them.
Right.
But I don't sit here and say, I need this because I am spirit. Because then, not into that. Yeah. But I can even see it in my family. You can even see it in your own families. Even when I say to people, there's this and this and this about you. And they say, no, nobody in my family does that. They're all blah, blah, blah. And it's like, well, yeah, they blah, 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 because they didn't know this and this. Right. That's really well described, I'm sure.
Yeah.
So it's the rainbow sheep thing. Very typical. And I didn't tell my family about my YouTube channel. Told my kids because they're kids.
Right.
Because I needed advice.
And they're tech savvy.
Yes. Yes. They come out of the womb being able to figure. It's just weird.
Programming the VCR, except that we didn't have VCRs when your kids were little.
Well, I see evolution as being on the other side as well as on this side. So we're just about to be born, know what's going to happen here. They actually have foreknowledge, so they come in. No, that's why your kids know how to get on the computer better than you do.
Yeah,
so smarter.
Where I've always kind of seen it as like a greater collective consciousness, and I kind of look at it the way that we've learned math. Like now, it's no big deal. People know 1 + 1 is 2, and that's like super common knowledge. But there was a time when that information that wasn't part of our awareness and our understanding. It took time for that to build, but it has built and it's established and it's so firmly entrenched in what we know that's already there. And so more and more things like algebra. I don't know why all of my references are math based, but they are. Right? But like we've got these basic fundamental understandings that are easier to grasp than perhaps they were before because there's a greater conscious awareness of what that is. And it's kind of exciting to think of what that's going to look like. Like maybe there will be a time, I'm using algebra as the example for now, that's fairly straightforward for the majority of people to grasp, but that maybe one day trigonometry will be what algebra is to us today.
Sorry. I think they actually call it calculus now.
Oh, really? That just goes to show you how up I am on math. It's interesting that they gave me math references for this. But
the only reason I know this is because I have smart people that I made. But I knew you were going to say that. I absolutely knew you were going to say that. And they want me to pop a cat like the thing.
Yeah, throw it in.
I totally get it. The evolution and collective consciousness. What if every time we die, we actually go and we learn all the things that we didn't do right and we retain some of that information. And then when we come back in, we've already got the information. And that's why we move a little bit forward.
What if it's both?
What if it's both?
What if it's both? What if it's on the conscious level here and it's on the conscious level there and we keep mixing them back and forth? We make an awesome and amazing salad.
Yes, because we are actually becoming more empathetic as well.
Yes.
Well, I'd like to think we're becoming more empathetic.
Yeah. Absolutely. Like compassion and empathy and all
Yeah.
of those things. We're becoming more and more aware, and we're sharing more of that. Absolutely.
Caring for others, and not actually, well, we do revel in the pain of others, but not as much. I mean, we have
Not all of us.
where we're enjoying the pain of others, but we're not actually murder. It's not Hunger Games.
No.
But there is a time when we would have enjoyed Hunger Games because gladiators.
Yeah.
That is the thing that we used to be able to be okay with. So yeah, you're right. We're yeah, it's both.
Yeah.
And
I think
actually, I don't think we're ready yet.
Mm-hmm.
All the things I wish we were ready for.
Yeah. Yeah. So we're still not ready for calculus, is what you're saying.
We're not ready for it. But it goes beyond calculus. Oh wow, there's more people. I just went.
I like how you segued the conversation. All right, let's say hello to people. Hello to Kareen and Josie. Let me just see. And Shelly, hello. Hello to Jerry. It's wonderful to see all of you. Thanks for joining us.
We said hello to Ruth, right?
I think we said hello to Ruth, but if we didn't, hello, Ruth.
Hi there, Shelly. Hello, Shelly. Yes, Shelly gets hair elastics.
Oh, hair elastics.
Yeah, because certain people, like when I started telling everyone my aunt leaves quarters,
Mm-hmm.
I can start collecting the quarters. Oh, maybe I'll buy the house in Gabriola for $6 million.
There you go. There you go. She might
go.
need she might need to up the ante a little bit. So ante up the ante, maybe start leaving 20s.
Yeah. Hey, auntie, up the ante.
Right. Okay, so I see we have Denise here. Denise has a question. And Denise is wondering about bringing lightness and feeling it.
I'm doing a rewarding career. I love that. I absolutely love that because I get shown all the time that we're all psychic. And actually, the career you're in, it might be where your psychic abilities lie.
Yeah.
If you're a nurse, you're probably a healer. If you are, say, a construction worker, then you're probably something having to do with safety and building and helping other people do things. Yeah, I believe that. So I love. So what would you say to Denise? How could she bring more lightness into her career?
I would say find the ways that you can help, where you can help and support others in the things that you're doing. Because for me, when it comes to rewarding work, it comes from having done something that's helped somebody else.
Yeah.
So I would look for the ways that you can help, and also to make sure that there's a balance in terms of what you are giving and what you're receiving. Because if I look at my work, if I overgive and overshare, I am completely depleted. I don't have anything to support myself with, and I can't continue to help and support others. So if you're in a place where you are giving disproportionately to what is coming back, whether that's like monetary or time off or time to put into things that you do enjoy, like there are lots of different ways that we can receive. Acknowledgement can be another way. If there's a significant imbalance in that, then that's probably part of where the adjustment needs to happen so that you can focus on helping in the work you do.
See, and I get that. I totally get the help. And all of that they said in my mind is find the things that make you giggle and happy about your work.
Yeah.
Actually focus on them.
Yeah.
And really, really enjoy the things that you're enjoying, because then you'll actually create more of the things that you enjoy. And then you'll get more of those type of assignments or something.
Absolutely.
And I agree with you. And I sometimes, it happens often on Sundays. I feel as though I have shown everyone my boobs.
And does that make you feel happy, or no, it makes you a little more rewarding in your work?
I overdo. I try to reinforce what you said. And then I think, oh no, it's like when you wake up in the morning after you've been drinking the night before and you go, oh no, what did I say? Oh, I don't want to look at my phone.
Okay, so I use a headset when we're talking on the show, and I just want to make sure that I didn't mishear what you said.
Okay.
Because what I heard you say was that, at the end of a Sunday, you've shown everybody your boobs. And
I feel like I've shown everyone my boobs.
Okay, because I was going to say there was something that I completely missed.
Yeah, that's what I feel like. I'm sure everyone might, because there are people here going, I've not seen her boobs.
Yeah, I would say that too. And I know your husband's probably very happy about that.
That I'm not showing other people my boobs. Yes, he's very, very, very private. Yes.
Yeah.
He has me for a wife, poor Bella. Bella. Yes, Leslie's right. Many symbols have been bastardized by others. Many, many things have been bastardized by others. Really. Yes.
Yeah.
I am late, but Tamara Lynch, it has all my attention right now. Okay.
All right. Well, we're glad that you're with us. Thanks
I
for
don't know,
Jerry.
Okay. Okie dokie. Linda is realistically going to manifest our Universal Connections workshops for intuitive development.
I love it.
And she's already named it.
Amazing.
Thanks, Linda. Do we have to give her a royalty now?
Maybe. I mean, that's what I called my workshops before, the intuitive development. So
okay. So
that's okay.
You're welcome, Ruth. Okay. There's more people.
Awesome. Let me see. The teasing from your child is a sign of love and being a part of our strangeness. Is that what you were reading too?
The exact same time. Yeah.
I love it, Jerry.
Well, I remember when what was I think it was on YouTube, and this was when the Tiger King thing was so huge.
Yep.
And they put me, and then right next to me was that Carol.
Oh, right.
And so I took a screenshot of it and sent it to my daughter. I said, look, I'm getting attention. She says, they put all the crazy people in the same spot. I'm like, you're mean, little girl. She always tell me that, and I'm crazy. But they mean it as affection. You are absolutely right, Jerry. They tease their mommy because it's so easy to tease their mommy.
It's so easy. Yeah. And if there wasn't that loving bonding connection there, they would just be mean.
Yeah, then that would just be mean. Yeah. Or they wouldn't even say it. They would just, like clients that I have whose families completely dismiss them.
Yeah.
They can't talk about this. I have clients whose spouses don't know they come to me.
Mm-hmm.
That would be lonely.
Yeah. Yeah.
Only because you should do it with your spouse. Well, you should do it with your spouse.
But it's an amazing thing to share. I used to have, I used to call them psychic play groups. And I used to do like a 2 hours in the evening, once a week or every 2 weeks. And I had people who would come for years. And one day, one of my ladies said, so my husband asked me the other day, if we put stuff in the cauldron. And she said, I didn't know what a cauldron was. And so she said, well, start explaining it to me. And she's like, oh, cauldron. Yeah, Erin just calls it a big black pot. We throw everything into it.
Do you actually have a big black pot?
No.
Oh, okay.
She was totally pulling his leg. But after that, I realized that truly what I was doing was I was corrupting the minds of the wives of the men in the Comox Valley.
Oh, or you were enhancing the minds of the wives of the men of the Comox Valley.
Yeah.
Comox Valley altogether.
Oh, dear.
Okie dokie. Now, okay.
Oh, awesome. Thank you, Ruth. I appreciate that. Ruth said that, yes, you did say that and that she thought she heard the same thing. So thank you, Ruth, for having my back. Okay. Thank you, Lorianne. I'm just going to go to Lorianne's.
Okay. All right. I was so busy healing others as a registered nurse. Finally, in 2009, I started taking care of me. Thank you, Bobbi. Yes, I've been. Yeah, that's awesome. For a while, she's a lovely woman. Yes. Yeah. And you darn nurses, you're just healers. Oh my goodness. Educations. Yeah. With too much education sometimes, but nurses especially. Yeah. I was actually just talking to one of my favorite nurses in the whole wide world. Oh, awesome. Telling her how, why would you become a doctor when you could be a nurse? When you can actually help heal people. Any doctors out there who want to yell at me right now? Oh man. Oh, and yes.
Yeah. Yeah. A psychic circle. Jerry's saying exactly the same thing. Usually less than 10 people, but so very strong. Yeah, absolutely. Psychic circle.
Oh yeah. And when I used to run meditation groups, I found I had to meditate this way. I
Mm-hmm.
could meditate this way because
Mm-hmm.
woohoo, and then I just ended up reading everyone in the group.
Mm-hmm.
Everyone would say, "So what did you experience?" And I'd say, "Well, you had this, you had that, you had that." That's what I do all the time because that's what it brings
So,
up to me. Because that's
so
what
I mean, I think what we're saying here is if you want to keep secrets, don't meditate with Bobbi.
Oh yeah, don't meditate with me if you want to keep the secret. Well, I'll keep the secret. I won't tell anybody. I honestly will not tell anybody because the people who my bosses,
Yep.
they're always like that. Yeah, they don't take a day off. They're like,
Yeah.
what's going on, bud? That's
Yeah.
what they're like. So I don't mess around with them.
They do the check-in.
They do the check-in, and I have certain P's and Q's I must adhere to.
Mm-hmm.
There are certain things I have to do.
I was just gonna say, I mean, like we've talked a lot about the different rules that I have. What kinds of things come up for you in dealing with spirit?
Well, it depends if I'm dealing with spirit guides as opposed to the dead.
Okay. Well, let's hear. Yeah.
With people on the other side, it's more like there are people coming to visit
Mm-hmm.
this town. So they're coming to my house and I'm showing them the ropes, and I've had one of their loved ones come and we're all going to have tea.
Okay. Yeah.
But like I'm a facilitator.
Yeah.
And my rules with them now are you do not enter me.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to be spoken through because that has happened.
Yeah.
And it's actually physically knocked me on my bum.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't allow that. I also only allow higher spirits,
Mm-hmm.
good and of light.
Yep.
And I always ask to be protected with that. Other than that, and I keep people from the other side over here, spirit guides over here, but they'll move to different spots.
Yeah.
But that way they know, because I need to be able to differentiate between the voices.
I was just going to say, is that for like identification purposes that like you come in on this side so I know who you are? And then once we've established who you are, you can move around and do your thing.
Yeah. And they can, because people from the other side will come in like a little bit over here, and really, really older spirits or powerful spirits will come right from behind me.
Right.
They all know, don't come in.
Yeah.
Stay where you are.
Yeah.
But yeah, that I like to keep, because well, I've been given glaucoma, a stroke, numerous heart attacks,
Mm-hmm.
injuries, and it's the stroke actually is what hanging.
Mm-hmm.
Eyeballs are on fire.
Wow, interesting.
Yeah, I was like, oh my God, my eyes hurt so much. This was when I was really new. And the person, like we talked about it, and I started talking about who the person was. They said, oh, they hung to death. I said, oh, I never want to do that. Oh my God. Because all the
the pull.
Yeah. So yeah, now I know certain way. I don't want to pass that way.
No.
But yeah, that's and you got to go home. But that sometimes is my fault.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes I can't. Well, I have. Well, and the family knows when I've accidentally left somebody, and sometimes it's not the person who actually I was speaking to or communicating with.
Mm-hmm.
It's some gremlin type thing that kind of came in on their coattails a little
bit.
Yeah. Them, and now it's here, and now it wants to scare my family.
Exactly. It as you're saying that, it reminds me of a song. Something about like the bar is closed. You don't have to go home, but you can't stay here.
Yeah.
You know, like you don't have to go back with who you came in with, but you can't stay here. That's just not allowed.
You got to go home. May not be your home, but this isn't it.
Yeah, this isn't it.
You work in a bar. Actually, and they all say the same thing. Yeah. So yeah, it is like that. And sometimes people get trapped. Sometimes people just want to stick around. It would seem. Spirit guides never do. It's only people from the other side and things such as that. Now, Noah has a very long comment.
Yeah, I've just kind of, as we've been talking, going back and forth and reading it. So I'm just going to read it out, and then we'll go from there.
Okay.
So this is Nola, and Nola said, I've been asked to cook a traditional indigenous foods, plants, and medicine to a global event come December. I am keeping with listening to my intuition and feeling like I can communicate with my ancestors to help me make my portions of how much. A little off because this is new and our nation's food isn't really out there. I would like to be guided when cooking, a little clarity to help me learn how to accomplish this with my ancestors. I am so excited about this question. So
yeah, Nola's a very interesting woman.
Yeah, that is so cool. So, I mean, first of all, like, thank you for asking us about this. And that's really an exciting project to take on. I've got some things popping up. Do you mind if I just hop in?
You go right ahead because I know Nola.
Okay. All right. So what I'm seeing you doing is, first of all, it feels like this is something that you're focusing on, like establishing first in your own home kitchen, and that you are inviting your ancestors in as part of like the preparation. But I'm seeing you doing, like, when I talk about preparation, I'm not talking about for the event itself, but in preparing yourself, because it feels like you're making all of this before you actually make it for the event that you're doing. And I'm seeing you inviting them in, and your ancestors are showing me that they've got little bits and pieces that each of them really kind of like specialized in. So I don't think this is what it is, but this is the example that's coming up, was if there was like a special type of bread that you were going to be making, that there would be one ancestor who was coming in and was showing you exactly how to do it. And I'm seeing like the kneading through the bread and like actually feeling them with you, guiding you, and like the hand movements, like it feels very expert. So invite them in. They are excited about what you're doing. It's very exciting.
Yes. And actually the first thing I saw, Nola, was ground. Root chakra, because your root chakra connects you directly to your ancestors. Also see, I think it's one of your kids working next to you.
Cool.
I see someone shorter. So I think they're trying to denote them as being younger.
Yeah.
Another one. Oh, you got rid of them.
I got them already. I saw them come in.
Thank you, Leslie. Those are scammer police.
Yes, and I see Julia here has said closing time. That's the name of the song that I was talking about.
That is the name of the song. Yeah, closing time.
Well, Nola, I hope that you will take pictures and that you'll share them with us, because that would be absolutely amazing to see everything that you've created with your ancestors.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. Yeah. Yeah. And actually too, there might be an access thing too, where there might be some foods that you're unaware of that you might want to add, that
they'll show you how to make.
Yeah. Remain open to other information coming in this earthly kind of way.
Yes. And I wonder if that's part of that like initial preparation that I was seeing, because it was almost like you were trying things out beforehand, before you were actually preparing to make the food for the big event, but like you were doing your own preparation test run. Does that make sense?
Yeah. And it could be that all this time she has prepared for this moment.
Oh, yeah. That totally makes sense.
That. Yes.
Yeah. Oh, that's exciting. That's exciting.
Okay. You want to talk about? Okay. Is this the moment where I go, so everyone looks at me for a second?
Yeah, right. Yes, it is. Well, actually, no, it's not. So Bobbi was just checking in to see if I wanted to start talking about my ritualsoak.com, and I am super, super excited to share this with you guys. I don't know how it happened. Somehow I missed that the new moon was going to be on Wednesday, and I still thought that I had 2 weeks to prepare, to get things out there, to get things done. No. So Wednesday night, I finally received all of the labels, everything that I needed to put the packages together. And I was carefully putting all of the packages together, and then it hit me. I'm like, oh my gosh, the new moon is like in a week today, and I wanted to get these out. So On Thursday, I was debating back and forth with myself. Do I jump today? Like, do I do it today, or do I wait until like a couple of weeks to prepare for the next new moon? And I kept hearing leap and the net will appear. And I'm like, oh gosh. So I sat on it. I waited like 8 hours, and I kept coming back over and over and over again. It came up in one of my clients' readings. I'm like, okay, I get it. So myritualsoap.com went live on Thursday, and I have the package here to show you guys. So Bobbi, this is where we start having an earthquake so that I can.
Look at Erin. Oh, that is not good. Don't do that, Bobbi.
So I can move my camera.
Okay, so guys,
oh man, you know what?
Look over there.
There we go. It was a lot easier when I did this when we were. How is that? Can you guys see that?
I think you're very much in the center.
Am I? Okay, good. So this is the New Moon collection, and it comes in a box like this with a letter like this. And basically this is kind of a general introduction. Oops, there we go. Little introduction. It gives you the code to access the digital downloads. This series comes with a set of 3 meditations and 3 exercises. We open the package up like this, and in it there are 3 ritual soaks. The New Moon is a series with creating. We've got releasing and forgiving. But the thing that I'm most excited about is on the back of each of the packages. Oops. I'll put it like this. I can't see too well. Are you able to see that, Bobbi?
Yeah, I can see it. Yeah. The envelope on the back of the package?
Yep, there's an envelope on the back of the package. And in the envelope, there is a piece of dissolving paper that has an affirmation on it that you add to the water for your soak. So I am super, super, super duper excited to start sharing these with people. And so the whole process, we start with releasing, because we are getting rid of anything that no longer serves us, no longer supports us. We move into forgiving, which is also another form of releasing, but there's a lot of healing that comes with that as well. And then we move into creating, because the new moon is all about manifestation. It's all about creating. So it's really the entire process leading into this so that you can build and create what you're wanting to invite into your life.
Yes, and I did it.
Yes.
Last moon, and I tell you, the releasing one.
Yep.
Holy cow! Did it release toxins like
yes,
crazy? I would even suggest, if you're doing this and you're like me and you have like swellings and problems in your body, or no, different messages in your body.
Yeah,
you might want to make sure that you can take care of yourself.
Yeah. It brings up some really big stuff for sure. But there's
also, it was wonderful.
Yeah, there's lots of opportunity. Sorry, I can't see exactly where everything is.
You're doing a great job.
Okay, thanks. There's lots of opportunity for releasing with it too. So this one is the releasing soak, and it is a blend of Epsom salt and Dead Sea salt. The Dead Sea salt is fabulous for getting right into the nitty gritty, for releasing negative energy, for releasing things that are no longer serving, no longer supporting. Mm-hmm. This here is a sample of the forgiving salt, and it is a blend of Dead Sea salt, pink Himalayan salt, and Epsom salt. And it's about like that compassion, that forgiveness, that love, that nurturing energy. And then we move into creation, and that's the sky. This is a blend of the pink Himalayan salt and the Epsom salts. And it's all about lifting us up, about charging, creating, beginning, manifesting, and all the good stuff.
And what a great Christmas present.
Indeed.
And I say that because, not just because you made it.
Right.
But also because really winter solstice, Yule, it's all about bringing in the light. It's about putting old things to bed and bringing in the new, waiting for spring to come.
Yeah.
The coming of the sun is what it's all about. So that would be an excellent thing to do at Christmas time.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And I'm glad that you mentioned that, because when I created it, the intention was that it would be something that you could do at the new moon. But there are a lot of times when we're naturally going through and we're doing things where we're wanting to release, to forgive, and to come into a place of creation. So like a couple things that have popped up for me were like starting a new business, or moving into a new relationship, or ending a relationship and preparing to move into a new relationship. There are lots of transitionary kinds of times where this can be helpful.
Yeah, my brain went to pregnancy.
Interesting. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Well, I mean, there's a lot of preparation that you do for that. And I mean,
especially if you're planning to have a child, you want
mm-hmm.
folic acid for like almost a full year before you even start.
Really? I didn't realize that.
Oh, yeah. You want to have a nice buildup of it in your system.
Yeah, I just didn't realize that you had to start taking it that soon in advance. That's awesome.
Well, I started taking it in advance, but I
Mm.
took pregnancy very seriously.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you planned everything. You planned it all.
Their births. Yeah, I
Yeah.
thought they would be born, things like that. Well, it's the Virgo. I gotta know what's gonna happen, or else I freak out. But no, this is a great, because it's not just a soak and a bath soak, because we can buy lots of bath soaks and things like that. It's the intention behind it. And I think that's why it hit me like a Mack truck when I did it.
Yeah.
I couldn't believe it. I couldn't wait to get to the forgiveness.
Yeah.
I can create. And
Yeah.
I noticed it.
Yeah. Well, I mean, like, you texted me the next day, and one of the questions you asked me was, do I have to wait until nighttime? And I'm like, no, you go, you do it.
It released so many toxins in my body.
Yeah.
It was insane. Yeah. I sure should have done something with my feet in that time. I put I don't know if you've ever done this. You put garlic on the bottoms of your feet.
I've heard of that. I haven't actually done it yet, but I have heard of it. So what does that pulls toxins out, right?
It draws out the toxins. If you're sick, like we do it I do it with my kids. Put a sock on, then garlic, then a sock. Don't put the garlic directly on your skin because it will burn you.
Interesting.
Or even Vicks, actually.
I've also heard that you can taste it too. Like it doesn't taste long, and you can start tasting the garlic as well.
Because it goes all
through your system, and it's a fairly direct channel through your feet.
Yeah, and that's our relationship with food. That's a new thing for me right now.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, no, it is. Yeah. Looking at food in a different kind of way. There was an illness in my house this week.
Right.
We got one of those nasty ones.
Yeah.
The COVIDs, but the other one.
Mm-hmm.
Going around children. And I said, what should I do? What should I do? So I looked in my book and I saw this potato leek soup. So I thought, oh yeah, I'll make that. And I didn't even realize.
Yep.
Potato, it showed me all the reasons why I should make this soup and what I should be thinking about when I'm making this soup. And because my intention was to make everyone well, and I actually think then the soup was able to do the job it was given.
Yeah.
Because I was telling it what to do. Like when people say my secret ingredient is love.
Yes.
I think it's the thing. So when you're making the bath soak, my mind, you're thinking of us, and you are creating it under the idea of, okay, I want them to release, and trust me, Erin is thinking of you this way.
Absolutely. I mean, I was thinking about this the other day, and Bobbi knows that I used to make soap, bath, and beauty products, and I had Savon Lee, that's right. And I had I made a chakra clearing spray back in 2007, and so this was one of the full-time things that I did as I was building and establishing my reading career. And I was thinking back to it. I mean, it was my full-time job. It was more than a full-time job, but I didn't put nearly as much into that as I put into this salt and soak. Everything was created within ritual, with the energy of the new moon. It's something that was a several-day process, and then the creation of the videos and the meditations that go with it. It is so heavily charged, energetically charged.
I dare say, that it wasn't the same at the beginning of your career because you were not who you are now.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. Because I was still learning. It was still very much at the beginning of my growth. I mean, I started making soap, bath, and beauty products when I was actually quite unwell. I was 19 years old. I wasn't able to work. I wasn't able to go to school, and I wasn't well. And I ended up at Overweighty Foods in the book section at like 11 o'clock at night, because they used to be open until midnight. And I found this book on soap making. I'm like, cool, I'm going to take this book of soap making home. And the very first batch of soap that I made, I rendered my own tallow. Like, I went to the butcher and I got the fat and I rendered tallow. And I remember my brother, who would have been like 16 or 17 at the time, and the kitchen stinks. Like, it smells so bad. And you have to render it several times so you can get all of like the gristle and stuff out. And I kept using soap to wash everything, because of course it's straight up like fat and grease. And my brother's like, you seem to be using an awful lot of soap to make soap.
Ironic.
Right? But it was at this time that, again, like, spirituality was starting to come to the forefront for me, but it wasn't something that I was able to explore, because I ended up in the hospital for 2 months after I started this. But when it came time to start this, my practice, I knew that I wasn't going to be ready, because I was still really fresh and new in like my learnings and my understandings. And so I built Savon Lee and I started my practice, and it went back and forth at the same time, which is why I had like the metaphysical products, like the chakra clearing spray, and I had bath salts that had crystals in them. The world just wasn't quite ready for crystals in the bath salts yet, though. So
now people are like, why aren't there crystals in your bath salts there?
Right? Right. So, I mean, it's a really exciting time to be bringing this forward, because it's like, okay, well, now we're ready for it. So
yeah, the world is a little more ready than it was 5 years ago.
Yeah. And well, I mean, like, this was almost 15, 16 years ago that
the world was not ready at all. I remember I hope I don't still have that soap.
Well, the good thing with homemade soap is that it lasts for hundreds of years. So
the thing with me is I keep things I don't want to lose for hundreds of years.
Right.
I'm working on it. I am totally working on that. That's something I'm working on. I'll bring you back to that one. Anyway, okay. So Sarah, Manly P Hall talks about Manly P Hall. Is that a person?
I'm assuming that it is. Yeah.
When it comes to cooking or eating food, if your intention is positive, eat and enjoy. If negative, don't cook or consume food, as it is negative. I've heard a similar thing.
Yeah.
Buddhist teaching.
Mm-hmm.
If a person who is going to serve you food, yes, it is. Thank you, Sarah. Is negative, don't, or the person is making you food, don't eat that food.
Yeah.
Because their energy will be in the food.
Yeah. And with Reiki, there's one of the things that we teach, particularly like at the level 2 level, when we're starting to do symbols, is that you can Reiki your food. And I mean, not only the person who's preparing your food, but potentially the person who harvested the food, or in transportation, that there are lots of opportunities for your food to pick up challenging or negative energies. And so it's just a really good practice to bring your food into alignment with your energy, so that it is more easily absorbed by your body.
Yeah, I believe that is the idea behind kosher. I believe those are foods that are blessed by a rabbi.
Oh, interesting.
Kosher is blessed. Yeah, I believe. Somebody tell me. But I'm pretty sure that it's actually what it is. So this isn't something that's brand new.
Mm-hmm.
It is. There's so many things that are so real and true, and have been embedded within certain religious practices.
Yep.
That's just this. That's just this. And we poo-poo things that are just so obviously good for us. That's actually what I heard in my head.
Yeah.
But because they're not putting a pill, or they're not in a product. Or this idea that we need these products. And okay, Jerry asked a great question.
Yes. Yes. Jerry's asking where we can get the mix that you make. So yes, right now I'm selling it only online. It's on myritualsoak.com. I'll pop that down into the comments in a couple of minutes. And I currently have a special on for it right now too. So the regular price on it is $144, but right now it's on special for $99, and that includes free shipping in Canada. Yeah. So it doesn't make sense. I am not interested in going out and doing the markets because I literally did that for years. And especially at this time of year, I used to do 7 or 8 like full weekend markets leading up to Christmas. And the idea of going and doing that just kind of kills my spirit. So I wanted to make sure that people can get it, and the easiest way to do that is through free shipping. So
Okie doke.
yeah.
Yeah. And markets are fun.
Yeah. Well,
You're not at an actual psychic fair. You're at like a mainstream regular folk market.
yeah. Well,
Deserves.
we were talking last week or the week before about things like Christmas music and how that puts people in a really good mood, or some people in a really good mood. And I thought about it after. And part of the reason that Christmas music doesn't have that effect and impact for me was because I would literally start my Christmas markets on November the 1st. I remember doing one show where there were still Halloween decorations up in the ceiling from the night before because we did it was literally November the 1st. I would do them right up to the weekend right before Christmas. It would be full on like Christmas music for hours in a weekend. And so for me, it doesn't have the same positive association that it used to have.
That's funny. One of the reasons I always like Christmas music is one, I know the words to every song, and two, most of them are alto, so they're really easy to sing.
Oh,
yeah, because I'm
alto. So is alto a fairly easy range for women and men to access?
I think it's mid-range.
Mid-range. Okay. Well, yeah, I guess that's
actually I think considered quite low for a female.
I think that I'm in the same boat as you. I think that I tend to be low for a female too.
Yeah, I remember my singing coach the first day. He goes, meh, meh, meh. Oh, you're an alto. I said, okay. I don't know. You're the coach. Yes, okay, yes. And Sarah and Jerry both have actually, it's like they're sitting in the same darn room.
Yeah, and they're just going back and forth. I love it.
Yes. And the animal thing.
Yeah. Yeah. So Sarah's saying that the animals are not meant to suffer during death as much, I guess, if that's a thing, is what she said.
Yeah.
And Jerry said, that is why my eggs taste so good. I treat all the hens with gentle love. Absolutely. It makes all the difference in the world.
Just if you buy eggs on the side of the road from your neighbor, and you look at that yolk, and if you buy eggs from the supermarket, like say the white, like full on, you're going to notice a difference in that yolk.
Yeah.
So I think that is actually a happiness of the chicken. And really, why do you want to? Why do animals? You know what happens to those poor chickens? They get stuck like this. Some of them, they grow up deformed because they can't move. Like, get yourself some free range eggs from a local farmer. Uncle Ben's farm in Duncan. I've been there. I will always buy their eggs, and the little corner store on Lake Trail Road actually sells them.
Oh, really? That's awesome.
Yeah, eggs from Duncan. And I've met those chickens. I've met the people who own those places. Those chickens are running free and happy as heck. Can play with
eating worms to their content.
Yes. And I would love to have chickens too, but if they were outside and it was cold, I would go outside.
Yeah.
I'd be like with the blow dryer, you girls are gonna be okay. That would be me. So I can't have anyone in the cold. Yeah, that I know people are out in the cold.
Yeah.
Okie dokie. Linda's an alto too. Awesome. Alto is also harmonized too.
Oh, cool. Well, that's awesome. Awesome. And Ruth, thank you for joining us. Thank you for the best of luck. I appreciate that.
Yes, thank you, Ruth. Yes, and yes, with the salts, with the best of luck to Erin with the salts.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Great Christmas present if you have an Orachellian on your list, or if you're an Orachellian and you want someone to get you something that is just purely for you and your self-healing and wellness. And tell your husband, I want some salt, baby.
Absolutely. Salt me up.
See, I just always assume. We have heat lamps for the cold. Of course they do, Jerry.
Yeah, that's how you treat chickens well.
Well, I could see Jerry out there with the blow dryer too. It's okay, girls.
Oh my goodness. Well, Bobbi? What else do we want to talk about today?
Oh, I thought you were actually going to say how you feeling because you did your. You guys notice Erin does a when she's almost had enough.
You just know me so well.
I hope I do after all.
Right after all this time.
After all this time. Okie dokie. Oh, I know what we need to talk about.
What do we need to talk about?
We need to talk about our next guest.
Yes, we need to talk about our next guest. Guest, yes. So, I mean, it's been a couple of weeks because we've had lots of different topics that we've been talking about. But a couple of weeks ago, we had conversations coming up around star seeds, and it just so happens that I know Bobbi and I know Bobbi.
You know,
one of our Orkellians, awesome Orkellians, Tanya QC is a star seed, and she has lots of information that she shares about that. She has a YouTube channel where she where she shares light code art, and she has a podcast that she does that talks about women who are doing their thing and about that. So we are going to have her as a guest on December the 11th, joining us. Yeah.
How exciting.
It is really exciting.
That's not our next show. That's the show after our next show.
It might even be a couple after that. We're doing them the second Sunday of the month. And so we spoke with Connie last week. So this is the third Saturday, fourth Saturday, and then the first Saturday and the second. That
makes sense. Let's go with that.
Yeah. Because calculus isn't quite part of the collective consciousness yet. It's maybe 2 or 3 weeks from today.
Okie dokie. Yes, okie dokie. Oh, yeah, okay.
And S epsilon. I love it, Green.
I don't know, sea salt epsilon.
Oh man, I just read Jerry's comments, and she's saying that she's sitting out there with a rifle right now because something's trying to catch and eat her hens.
Oh my goodness.
Well, I mean, that might even be better than the heat lamp, is like actually keeping them free of danger. That's amazing. I love that, Jerry.
Yeah, careful, Jerry.
Yeah.
Don't want to have your neighbor get surprised. That would be my luck. 100%. That would be my luck. Yeah, I would shoot a neighbor. Yeah. Okay.
So it's interesting here that Karine made a comment about minerals making the water hard. I don't have a lot of experience with that, but I do know that if you have a warm bath, then your body will absorb the minerals that are in the salt that you're bathing with. And if you have a hot bath, then your pores will open up and you release toxins from the body. So out of curiosity, Miss Bobbi, how hot is the temperature of your bathtub water? Do you like it like really hot or just kind of warm?
No, I like it hot as heck. I like it so hot, actually. Yeah. I have to heat in the tub while I run the water so that my body regulates with the temperature.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, I like it so much you couldn't actually put your foot in it to start your bath. You'd have to wait.
Right.
Because it's burny. But if you're already in the bath and you burn into it, this is what I do a lot of times. So,
then you can get it hotter.
So I get it really hot because I actually even get my bathtub so hot I sweat.
Yeah, so you need a bath.
Yeah, and actually let it all, because I sauna as well. If I'm not in my bath, I'm in my sauna.
Right.
Yeah. So
right.
Ooh, yeah. Give me an idea I need to discuss with you about aromatherapy. Because that's actually been popping in my head.
Absolutely.
Aromatherapy.
Absolutely.
Nothing about aromatherapy. Hot as you can stand it. That's right, Dion. Yeah, I like
release those toxins, baby.
Toxins. And then I just lay back and all the lumps get into the water and I can actually feel the salt going into them.
Oh.
Just it's like you get those lumps. You get them. That's what I say. You miss them.
And it's so funny because as you're saying that, I almost see like salt little Pac-Mans going after your lumps.
That's hilarious because that's how I see it. You can call me Body if you want to.
That's okay. She's showing you her boobs later. It's all good.
I'm not gonna show you all my boobs.
Oh my gosh. Okay.
All I know is I felt exposed. There's even times I have to do this. where we finish and I'm like, what did I say? I don't even know what I said. Because it's not so much, and all the stuff comes out, and you don't have control when the stuff comes out. We have some control,
Some control, but not a lot.
control, but even I think it was with this person. I think it was, I tried to say another word. Yeah, it was, and I kept saying house, and I even tried to like move my tongue to say the other word. And house came out. Yeah, that's what I said, but it's because that's what I was supposed to say.
Right.
So
Yes.
I don't have that kind of control.
Yeah.
So I know after we're done this, I'm like, oh my God, what did I say? What did I do? Things like that. Do you not get like that? Is that just me?
Sometimes.
Okay.
Sometimes. I mean, our methods are a little bit different. So
I can be a little extreme and I can be a little explosive. And every now and again, I can swear. And quite often, I say things that are very inappropriate. Oh, like.
I see Koreans watching. Yes.
We were talking about the things that angels can help enhance within us. My brain went to sex.
Yep.
Can you ask for angelic help in sex?
Yep.
Can you actually ask for an angel to help you release and have an orgasm?
I never thought of that, but you know what I'm going to be doing. That's a wonderful idea. I mean, when you started asking, can you ask your angels for help with? I'm like, yeah, absolutely. You can ask your angels for help with anything. I mean, why didn't I think about asking angels for help with sex? Like
women, I know. Well, I'm assuming it's mostly with women.
Yeah.
It can get very dialogue-y in your brain.
Yeah, it can.
And you can actually even screw yourself up so that you don't get to do that.
Yeah.
And I tell you, it is one of the most amazing things we can do.
Yeah. I mean,
it's such a great release in all ways. And actually, I get visions myself.
Okay, I think I need a little of what you're having.
Well, you're not allowed because I'm married to him.
No, right. I didn't mean that I wanted your husband. But I suppose if he had a brother, no, I'm teasing.
A brother, he does, but he's married too. So,
okay. So scratch that off the list.
Off the list. Yes, that does help quite a bit because I am very, very, very much in love with my partner.
Yes, that does certainly make a difference.
Yes.
But like what I was going to say, one of the things that I've learned over this last year or so, I did some breath coach training back in April. And one of the things I found really interesting was that your body goes back and forth within your nervous system through different states of arousal to orgasm. Like you are in your parasympathetic nervous system, which is the rest and digest, as you become aroused, but you move into your sympathetic nervous system, which is your fight and flight, as you move into orgasm. And so, I mean, to me, when it comes to connecting with angels really help to relax. So they can really help with that arousal process and like the letting go, and then kind of letting you do your thing as you come into orgasm.
Yeah. I maybe we should do a whole show on orgasm.
I mean, we've talked about this.
No, I'm a little obsessed.
Right.
And I don't mean to be. I'm not obsessed.
Yeah.
But I think it's very important. I actually think sexual energy is something that we have poo-pooed and pushed away over to the side so often and so much, like it's a dirty, dirty thing or something like that. Yeah. And I kind of think that we're losing something that we need to explore.
Yeah. Well, I mean, for me, I look at it from a couple of different perspectives. I look at it being like a very human thing. It's a very physical experience.
Yep.
And physical experiences are what our soul is here for. We're here to experience a thing that we can't experience in non-physical form. So like sex, food, exercise, movement, anything that you can feel and perceive with your body, those are part of the human experiences that we're here to experience. And sex and passion is definitely on that list.
Yeah, and actually, that's the physical part of what we're experiencing. I see people on the other side have sex, but they don't have sex. They have the other part, because when you have sex with somebody, you're not just exposing your physical self to them. You're
Mm-hmm.
exposing your soul, your emotional self. I think it's actually an incredibly important thing.
Yeah.
The way that they show it on the other side, even food.
Mm-hmm.
They don't take the food and eat the food, but they
Yeah.
remember what it felt like to have the food.
Right.
And they'll show me themselves consuming something, but it's because I'm living in that moment of, so it's the underlying thing that is with the physical thing.
Oh, and that's part of the reason that they love joining us for food and drink and beverage, is because that's something that they miss.
Yeah.
So often when I see deceased loved ones come in, like mothers and grandmothers in particular, they show me sitting down at the kitchen table with a cup of tea, just waiting for their person to come and share a cup of tea with them, because that experience of tea and being in that place, that's something that they miss and enjoy.
Yeah. And I actually see the kitchen table a lot.
Good, great. I'm glad it's not just me.
Yeah. The kitchen table it used to be an incredibly important table.
Mm-hmm.
There aren't any kitchen tables anymore.
Yeah.
Everyone's got the breakfast bars now where nobody's looking at each other.
Yep.
Everyone's
Eating in front of the TV.
Yeah, that's what anyway, yes, the kitchen table is where the most psychic stuff used to happen in the olden days.
Mm-hmm.
In the olden days, I mean like the 1950s, 1940s, when people are like, shh, we don't
Yeah. Well,
forget God, blah, blah, blah.
that's right. My grandmother was a card reader back in the 40s and 50s, and that's what she did, is she read cards at her kitchen table. Pardon?
Wow, she read them like in front of people.
Yeah, she did. And she used playing cards. So like the tarot is based, or no, pardon me, our playing cards are based on tarot. And so that's what she used. She used
tarot before playing cards?
Yes. Yeah. And in fact, one of the reasons that highly devout Christians, some of them don't use playing cards. Like my aunt and uncle, they are evangelical. They have loosened things, but like they didn't dance, they didn't go to movies, they didn't drink alcohol of any sort, and they wouldn't play cards. And because cards started out as tarot, as a divinatory tool, and eventually they evolved into games. But at one point, the games that were played were also a form of divination as well.
Really?
Yeah.
You guys know that.
You learn something new every day.
Every day we learn new things. Yes. And Jerry, are you saying that it is so very important that the whole body receive fresh air and sunshine, or orgasms?
Or both.
Or both.
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 Yeah.
And I'm curious with the Venus, Green.
Well, when I read that, I just hear the song, I'm your Venus, I'm your fire, your desire.
Venus, oh Venus, please send me a little girl for me to thrill. Dirty song. Anyway, all right. How are you feeling, young lady?
I think I'm there. How are you doing?
I think I'm there as well. How are your Kellyan's feeling? I thought so. Right. Okay.
Oh, I was just really quickly going to announce I am preparing my Season's Blessings cards that I send out in the mail every year. I'm doing them tomorrow. I'll post a link if you would like to send me your mailing address. I would love to send you a card in the mail.
Both often.
Yes, both and often, and possibly even together. Fresh air, sunshine, and orgasms. What a winning combination.
Well, I live in a neighborhood.
Yeah,
that's all right. They try to pretend I'm not here.
Are you ready, Miss Bobbi?
I am ready, Miss Erin.
Okay.
Namaste. Thank you, everyone.
Thanks for joining us.
I did not blow. I'm sorry.
We'll see you next week.